Well, good afternoon. You're listening to the new WCEG Network. We are the Worldwide Community Empowerment Group where we speak life into the community. Log on to WCEGTalkRadio.com. Watch us live on your smart TV, on the Roku channel, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and now Fanbase and Blue Sky. Search for WCEG. Subscribe to all social media platforms. I'm Celeste Giordano with CelesteGiordano.com, your show host of the Global Legacy and Wealth Building for the next hour. Download our free WCEG mobile apps. Alexa, play WCEG Talk Radio and listen to WCEG on any of our 12 podcast distribution platforms. And last but not least, our disclaimer. And the topics and opinions are those of the show host and guest and not WCEG Network. And thank you for your continued support. And I am so excited to be here today on WCEG Network. I have such a very special guest today coming all the way from Cincinnati, Ohio. But I want to thank Penny Rogers and WCEG family for allowing us this opportunity, this platform to speak life into the community. I get so excited twice a month to come on this show and bring amazing guests that we get to share with the audience something about running a business, something about our finances, something about our taxes, something about our communities, our nonprofits. And that's what excites me, is to bring this news and this opportunity to our community. So today I have a very special guest. I'd like to welcome Angie Dodge from Cincinnati, Ohio. Welcome, Angie, to WCEG Talk Radio.
Well, thank you. I am super happy to be here. I've been waiting for this, so I'm ready to go. Let's do this.
Absolutely. Now you look like you're all bundled up. Is it snowing up there in Cincinnati today?
Actually, it has been. We were supposed to get a little bit of accumulation just after all the snow we got at the beginning of the year, of course, melted. So now we're going to get another little bit of, I don't know, about an inch or so.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I enjoyed being with you in January. We were at the eWomen event there in Cincinnati, and always one of my favorite events to network at. And you were the guest speaker, and I've met you before through eWomen and things of this nature. And it was so cold in January. I came up there planning to stay like till the 1st of March. And like 10 days into it, it's like, I'm out of here. It's 0 degrees. It's 1 degree. And the wind chill was -16. Mm-hmm. And my husband got up one morning, he went to work, and he called to check on me. He said, "Where are you at?" I said, "I'm out of here."
I should have just thrown myself in your suitcase and went down with you. Oh my goodness.
But anyways, when you spoke at eWomen, I was so impressed, Angie, with you talked about a subject that's very near and dear to my heart, and that's time management. Mm-hmm. And you did a phenomenal job as the guest speaker that day. And I just sat there and listened to you. You're very knowledgeable. And I was just so excited that you could accept the invitation to be our guest at WCEG Network today. And I'm excited for our audience and our listeners to listen to what you have to share with them. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to read your bio for our audience and listeners. And I want our audience and listeners, if you have any questions about time management or anything that we're talking about, put it in the chat. We have someone monitoring the chat. We'll get the questions. We'll answer the questions. And with that being said, let me tell you a little bit about my guest here today, Angie Dodge. Angie Dodge is the dynamic founder and CEO of Moxie Virtual Solutions, a company dedicated to revolutionizing how entrepreneurs and business leaders manage their time and operations. With over 23 years of experience in business operations and team management, Angie has made it her mission to help ambitious professionals break free from the operational grind and focus of what they do best. A passionate advocate for work-life balance and efficient business practices, Angie founded Moxie Virtual Solutions to provide top-notch virtual assistant services tailored to the unique needs of each client. So it's not a cookie cutter operation. Her innovative approach combines cutting-edge technology with a dash of sass, ensuring that Moxie clients not only get things done, but do so with style and efficiency. And with that being said, let's welcome our guest, Angie Dodge, to WCEG Talk Radio.
Thank you.
So, anyways, tell us a little bit, Angie, before I get started and asking you questions. 23 years of experience, and I know your background a little bit, but I would love for our audience and listeners to get the Cliff Note version of your background, especially you have a military background.
I do, yes. So that's actually where this whole story of mine started. My ex-husband was in the military, and we lived overseas in Germany. And the first job I could get was as a commander's secretary. And I'm really hoping that at this point in 2025, they have updated that word, and now it's, executive assistant or something else a little bit. Anything's better than secretary. But that's really where this started, where I started supporting higher level, of course, the military was officers, but then as I left that space, I went into the corporate world, and I supported several different C-suite level executives. So they were all in that space where they had chief or executive in front of their name. At times, I would support multiple people in that realm. I did it efficiently and effectively, and word got around, and my reputation became, if you have something that you want done, you give it to Angie, because Angie gets it done.
Absolutely. And, and I just, I've said this to you before when you were the guest speaker in January at eWomen. You can tell that you are a very confident individual. And when you talk to people, not everybody you talk to, you get that feeling that they're confident in who they are and what they do. But when you speak, it's like, what was that the saying used to be, when someone listen, and and that is what impressed me the most about you, or one of the things of many when you were speaking, is that you speak with conviction, you speak with confidence. And that's the kind of person I want on my team. I want a confident individual. I don't want somebody that sways back and forth, that's wishy, that I'm not sure, or I have to second doubt their decisions or whatever. And I'm sure you're the same type, that if you speak with confidence, you're going to be the first to raise your hand and say, I made a mistake. You're not going to just shove it under the carpet.
Right. Well, and that's something that I always, I tell my team, and, our clients need to have confidence in us. And the only way they're going to have confidence in us is if we have confidence in ourselves. Does that mean that we can do every little thing for a client? Or, no, not everybody knows how to do an Excel spreadsheet. I do not, nor do I care to, but I have somebody on my team that can. That's just not where my expertise is, nor should I be spending my time doing that. So I think it's just really important when you're in this space of where you're supporting high level executives. And I do consider business owners an executive in their own right. They've worked hard to get to where they are. And, they deserve to have that kind of support just as much as a C-suite level executive does. And, it's all about just knowing what I call it a skill set. It's not even a title or a role. It's truly a skill set that we develop in this space that's very unique. It's transferable. I've worked in different industries. And once you figure out that you have that skill to be a problem solver, to be able to, just streamline processes, all of those things, and the impact that it can have, we want to spread the word. This is my favorite topic to talk about. That's what I've already told you. You may have to rein me in a little bit, because I'll just go on and on and on. And I have to tell you though, Celeste, when you were sitting next to me at the eWomen Network, I felt your energy. Like, I felt we were connecting right there. And I knew we were going to have something special afterwards. So, and it's proven to be true.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I appreciate you sharing that. I want to dive in, because you know what? an hour is nowhere near enough time for us to talk about time management. I can just tell you, we can go on and on and on. And if our audience and our listeners, if you're a business entrepreneur, if you are an employee of a corporation, time management, if you're a mom, a stay-at-home mom or whatever, time management is there. You have to carve out time management. And if people are honest with themselves, then all the people that I coach, a lot of the time, their number one biggest problem they have is time management. And it's not that they're bad people, because not being a good time management doesn't make you a bad person, but some people just don't get time management. You get time management. I get time management. It's second nature to me. But there are a lot of people that don't get time management. They get distracted. They squirrel to the right. They squirrel to the left. So we're going to get started with this. So as the founder of Moxie Virtual Solutions, how do you see effective time management contributing to building a global legacy and wealth building?
Well, time management, just it's a fundamental, it's not even a tool, it's a way of life, almost managing your time. And what does that look like? But obviously, when you're able to manage your time, that means that you're doing the right things. You're spending your time where it needs to be spent. So of course, it's going to help you. It's going to help you in your job. It's going to help you in your bank account. It's going to help you with how you spend your time with your children, how your house is ran, how do you want to run your home? All of these things are impacted on how you decide you want to spend the hours that you're awake. And if you want more hours to sleep, you get better rest when your time is managed. So it really does contribute holistically to people's lives.
But we sometimes we get stigmatized by words, and in all my years and having a franchise and working with salespeople and developing and training and things of this nature, I've been called things as, Celeste, you're a drill sergeant. Celeste, you're a Chief Seymour. And and I really got bothered by it for a while, but then I realized how I still want to be that person, because that made me effective. That made me have top salespeople, made me have top, managers and things of this nature. But the thing of it is that there's also a way that you've got to soften that a little bit, where you don't come across as a drill sergeant or a Chief Seymour, somebody that solves everything. I saw everything. I could look and just spot stuff just like that. And people with good time management, they see those things because they don't allow things to fall through the cracks, because they're constantly inspecting what they expect. And so, and I'm sure you being in the military, you've learned to adapt with that, especially working with executives like you did. They're constantly dictating and delegating and things of this nature.
Well, and funny enough, I think I did the math, and I feel over the past 23 years, I believe I supported 1.23 executives a year. So it was a constant revolving door, if you thought about it. And then I always called myself a chameleon, because I adapted to each one of them. And they all are very different. Some are better at managing their time than others. There are times when I felt like, okay, this is great. They already have a good idea of what they're doing. So then it allowed me to up my game and do things at a higher level than I've ever had a chance to do before. And I loved that. But then you have people who just don't know it, they really struggle with it. And so, you have to give them more time. And I do believe, just like with anything, it's how you work with people. I love to laugh. And so for me, I like to just come up with nicknames and just share the fun and what this can look like for people. And just when it gets figured out, how good it makes you feel and how accomplished it makes your day.
Absolutely. So let me ask you, the Eisenhower matrix is mentioned in your guide. Can you explain how this tool can help entrepreneurs prioritize tasks for maximum impact on their business growth?
Yes. So there are so many tools out there. And then, with your phone, you've got, there's just so much available to you. And the Eisenhower matrix at its simplest is just truly a way to prioritize your tasks. Obviously, if something, you put it in a quadrant, you've got your urgent, you've got your it's important and it's urgent. And then across from that, you have not urgent and not important. How many times do we find ourselves doing things that are not urgent and not important? And that's just a complete time waster. Trust me, life will go on if those things do not get done. I promise. But on the flip side of that, our energy needs to be going to those things that are urgent and important. And then, really, the Eisenhower matrix can be a little overwhelming for people. So sometimes I just say, do what works well for you. You like A, B, C, and D, or 1, 2, 3, and 4. Number 1 is your high priority. Number 4 is your least priority. Get away from those 4s and start doing those 1s.
Well, and the other thing that comes into time management, Angie, like, a lot of times I coach my clients on things of this nature. I'll use 1, 2, 3, 4,
Mhm.
or I will use the Ben Franklin close, what's positive, what's negative, things of this
Right.
nature. And sometimes the light bulb goes on like they've never heard that.
Mhm.
And of course, that's some old school stuff. I'm sure there's new school stuff. But the other part of that is accountability,
Oh, absolutely.
because people have to be accountable, that you can't just say it one time. And one of the biggest sentences that I use with my clients constantly when we're talking about an issue or problem, you have to inspect what you expect.
Mhm.
And that gets repeated over and over and over, because sometimes people say, well, I did this. Okay, well, you did this. Well, did you inspect what you expect? Did you follow
Mhm.
through with it? Did you? Well, no, I just did it, And so
Mhm.
this is where the accountability comes into it.
Yes. 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 Well, I think about it as like a tennis swing. Are you following through? Don't just stop halfway. Follow that motion through. And it's a very personal thing I have found as time management, because it's just like anything. You're only going to stick with it if you make it easy for yourself. So the idea is to figure out what is easy for you. So it is easy for me to do 1, 2, 3, and 4. It is easy for me to time block, and we're going to talk a little bit about these things. These are other tools. And it's easy for me to do the Pomodoro method, where you time yourself. And I make all of those things work for me. But when you're just starting out, it's just as easy as making a list. And the beauty of making a list is you get to cross things off. So there's a little bit of joy there. And for a while, when I first started doing this, it was just to make my bed. Because if you make your bed, then you're going to have a better day type thing. Well, I was like, I always want to make my bed. And that would always be the first thing on my list. And it was fantastic. I got to cross it off every day. And again, it's just little steps. It's just like, thinking about losing weight. You're not going to lose 20 pounds if you start walking tomorrow. But once you have a plan in place and you do it every day, consistency, 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 every day. That is how you become better users of time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So many business owners struggle with time wasting activities. What are some common time wasters you've observed, and how can our listeners identify and eliminate them in their work?
So one thing that I always do when starting with coaching anyone with time management, whether it's been with a team of people or one-on-one, every day for a week, you want to monitor your activities. So print yourself out a spreadsheet or a chart of some sort, and then just start writing down, what you're doing. So for example, maybe you're doing email and that took you 10 minutes. Maybe you did some shopping. Be very honest with how you're spending your time, and do
Right.
this every day for a week. And then you go back and you can see where you're spending your time and what are you doing. Now, if you have one of these, which we all do, you're going to be spending a lot of time on this, more time than you think. I don't know if you get the reports on your phone, Celeste, that tells you how many hours you were online.
Yep, I
Oh
do.
yeah. Sometimes I'm embarrassed. I'm like, how did I spend that much time on my phone? There's not that much time in the day. So what that tells me is I'm not spending my time where I need to be spending it, because I didn't feel good about my day or my week. But yes, the phone. So just idle, time where you're going through the internet. Maybe it's, doing meetings that you don't need to have. I feel like most people waste a lot of their time in meetings. They make them too long. They're scheduling meetings that they don't need to have. So I really would recommend everybody take a critical look at the meetings that you're having. Could it just be a quick 15-minute call? Could it be something that do you even need to have it? Don't meet just to meet. And then of course, just going through your email, you can come up with a plan of how you go through email. And it shouldn't be the first thing that you do during the course of your day. You should be looking at your day after you'd already planned it the night before, by the way, and taking stock of how you want to spend your time and making sure that you're doing the most important thing and the most urgent things first.
Absolutely. And if you're an entrepreneur, like I tell my clients, like you say, email isn't the first thing you want to do in the morning. Social media isn't what you want to do. You want to do your return on your investments, your money making activities.
Absolutely.
You want to be having, having your phone calls and talking to people, and things of this nature, not scrolling social media, not looking at your emails. And, and that's a service also, like, what you have there at Moxie Solutions is I'm sure you have somebody that can go in there and strategically do their emails and prioritize them and send them to people of what they need to be looking at right away.
Yes. Outsource, outsource, outsource. It's one of those things. Time is money. Money is time. Really, if you want, and I learned this early on in my business, you can't do everything. I would not be where I am right now 5 years in if I didn't have my own assistant, if I didn't have a social media manager, if I didn't have some project managers helping me with, different things along the way. And if I did do it myself, I probably wouldn't be sitting here having this conversation with you because I'd be burnt out and probably back at an 8 to 5 Monday through Friday job, right?
Right.
So it's really important to think about what can you free up on your plate just by letting someone else manage your emails or your calendar. How much time, it's amazing how much time you can spend just reading one email and responding back to it. That's 10 to 15 minutes. How many, you could at least talk to one person about your business that may, pay you instead of you reading that email. So, my recommendation is always to think about those things that you don't have to be doing. And it's probably, you're not even the best person to be doing it.
Most definitely. And, I want to share a story here about myself when I started my consulting business in 2013. I was fortunate enough that I had followed some very highly successful entrepreneurs and business coaches at the time. And I realized, being that I was a franchise owner and that I had a recruiter, I had a trainer, I had managers, I had an admin person, I had a service person, I had the 5-department program, and I managed that. And what I did is I was in the people developing business. And if you're an entrepreneur, you're in the people developing business, and that is having conversations. And if you don't have leads coming in where you can have appointments and have conversations, you'll never have sales and you will not have enough money to sustain your business. And so from the very beginning, I had an online business manager. I had a social media person. I had a ghostwriter that helped me with some of my articles and things of this nature. And I had a CPA bookkeeper. I didn't do those things because that's not where my expertise is at. Am I very knowledgeable about those things? Yes, I am, just like you. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to learn, grow, achieve, and prosper for my business. And that meant I needed to be having conversations with people that had a problem, and I had the solution to help them. And that's where I spent my time the best. And that's why I've been able to sustain in the coaching and consulting business and retain clients for a very, very long time. And I recommend, it doesn't cost to have a virtual assistant or a program like what Angie offers her company, because it's not going to cost you money. It's going to save you money, because that money that you spend for her is going to motivate you to have more conversations so you can close more sales, so you can pay her and you can keep growing your business.
Absolutely. Yeah. I wish, yeah. Will you send me that recording so I can just put it out on social media and just share it with the world? Celeste said it best.
Absolutely. Now, let's see here. So you discussed several productivity techniques in your guide. How could you elaborate on the Pomodoro technique and how
Yes.
it can benefit busy entrepreneurs?
So I love the Pomodoro, and funny enough, the whole reason why they called it the Pomodoro technique is, and I know I'm gonna miss his name, but that's not important. But anyways, he used a tomato timer. So that's where the Pomodoro came from.
Pomodoro
So,
come from.
yes, yes. So basically what I love about the and funny enough, I do this more so when doing chores in the house than I do a lot of times with work. So for example, you need to bust out some things. Maybe it's making the bed, doing a load of laundry, doing the grocery list. Set your timer for 25 minutes. 25 minutes. Do you know how much you can get done when you focus in 25 minutes? So you set your timer and you go and you do as much as you possibly can in those 25 minutes. You don't look at your phone. As a matter of fact, put your phone away. Close down your computer. I have multiple monitors. It looks like a small NASA. Anytime I do the Pomodoro technique, I close everything down and only leave open what I need. It's being intentional with this time. For that 25 minutes, you do whatever, you bust out your tasks, you make the bed, you make phone calls. That's a great time to make some cold calls, maybe, especially if they may go quick. But just all the things that that you have to get done that day. That 25 minutes flies by and it's amazing what you get done. And then the best part of it is that 5 minutes, you get a break or you get a treat. And I always love it when I can give myself a treat. So whatever that 5 minutes is after the 25 minutes is up, you give it to yourself. Maybe it's a quick little walk around the block. Maybe you have to take your dog out, whatever it is, but reward yourself because you really just got a lot done in a short amount of time. And it's the best. It's one of my favorite tools. I swear by it. And I promise I would love it if everybody out there hearing us or listening to us would do this and send me your feedback, because I'd love to hear how it works for you.
Absolutely. And for our audience listening, if you have any questions, I hope you put them in the chat there so we can answer them for you. And, I get so excited over this topic right here because I have a hard time sometimes with people like you. It made me laugh. He said, well, maybe I need to make the bed. Then when my feet hit the floor, man, the bed is made. And I am in the shower, getting a shower, getting ready for the day. And not everybody's like that. There's that drill sergeant and that Chief Seymour coming in. But, I will say that they'll say, Celeste, no matter what, I've always made a lot of money with you because I've just got really strong vision and structure that I don't deviate too much. So the other thing is that how does the concept of time blocking relate to strategic business planning and long-term wealth building? Because this is one of my favorite questions and answers.
Okay, so time blocking is another tool. And you know what they say, if it's not on your calendar, you're not going to do it, right? So time blocking is exactly what it is. You're blocking out time, but you're putting it on the calendar. You're keeping yourself accountable to what you want to accomplish. And remember, this is, ultimately your calendar, your time, it is yours. You are owning it. So therefore, be true to yourself and do the things that you say you want to do. So put that time on the calendar, so I will give you a perfect example. I knew I had this interview today, so I wanted to make sure that I was ready to go. So probably around 2:00, I think, I'm looking at my calendar now. It was actually 1:30. I blocked out an hour. I blocked out an hour to just take some deep breaths, to calm myself, to center myself, and to also look through my notes so that I knew I would be prepared. I knew I needed that. But the only way I was going to do it was commit to it. And committing to it meant I put it on my calendar. Now, the best thing is when you take that time blocking and you add it to the Pomodoro, it's like magic. It is magic because you're put in 30 minutes And I do it all, you know, if you look at my calendar, you'll see just different 30-minute random spots. And in those 30 minutes, I'm doing some work, I will tell you that.
Well, I have to laugh going back to where you said when you do this and you get something done, you get a treat. Man, that's my favorite word, treat. Let's get a treat. Especially my dog Gorgeous loves the word treat. So we would be getting lots of treats. You know,
Absolutely.
I want to talk a few minutes about time blocking because that's a critical thing as a coach and talking with clients. You know, I don't have a problem with time blocking, but what I have found that people that aren't used to constraints or structure,
Mhm.
that, you know, we've heard it takes 21 days to form a habit, blah, 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 blah. You know, I'm very big on accountability, and that's one of the biggest things, not one of the biggest, it is one of the biggest things in working with my clients is the accountability that I hold them to. So most people that are not used to being held accountable.
Mhm.
Is what it is. And so when I find that I have a client that has a problem with time management or accountability, and I'm old school, and you know, and I do the digital thing, I have the digital calendar and things of this nature, but you know, I like a piece of paper.
Mhm.
And so I have a piece of paper, you know, it says my weekly schedule. And so what I do is for 30 days, I'll tell my client, and this thing starts at 8 a.m. and it goes to 10 p.m. because people got different types of things that they're doing. And I say, I want you to take this weekly schedule. And the first thing I want you to put into this schedule is all your spiritual things. Whether you go to church on Wednesday night, you go to church on Sunday, you have a Bible study, whatever it is, you put your spiritual things, your time with you and your spouse, your partner, you put that on this calendar first. And then the second thing you're going to put on this calendar is going to be your family slots. Maybe you have children, you got to take the kids to soccer practice, or you got to do, you know, a play or something like that. You know, and then I say, you know, for your spouse or your partner, you need to have a date night in there at least once a week. Put a date night in there. Okay. And then anything personal, maybe you're having to go visit an elderly parent that you're helping, fill that up. Now, what do we have left over? Now, I want you to put in for your business. If you have networking events, put those networking events in there. Okay. After that networking events, you know, if you have client calls or whatever it is, fill that in and then look at that. And a lot of them didn't like that. They said, oh, that's just too rigid. That just holds, you know, I may not want to do that. And I said, that's okay. I said, but here is a schedule that you have. And then when something comes up and you don't want to do it, that's your choice.
Right.
You can look at that. And if you say, you know, I don't want to go to that networking event, you can cross that out. Maybe you want to go to lunch with a friend, or maybe you have an opportunity to go to lunch with a potential client. That's a choice.
Right.
And you put that in there, but at least you can see on a weekly where you're spending your time. Because I don't know about you and your clients, Angie, but a lot of the times I'll say, you know, how much time did you spend doing this? Well, I don't know. Well, they don't know. And if you don't know where you've been, you don't know where you're going. You've got to be able to manage your time and where it's at. And once you get them to monitor this for about a month, then it becomes second nature that they really pay attention. And the other thing is, it cuts down where you feel that you don't have balance in your spiritual life. Now you're making sure that you aren't feeling like you slighted your spiritual life any. Or if you're not, you feeling guilty that you're not spending time with your family, you can look at that, you know. So and you can also do that on your digital calendar, but again, time blocking those things are so important.
I kind of call it living on purpose. You're not just letting life take over. You're taking control of your life. And I feel like that, you know, it helps to reduce the stress that you're feeling. All of us feel stressed. I don't care if you're a big picture thinker, if you're organized, if you are analytical, you know, we all feel stress. And this is something that you can control. And I always say, you know, my mom always said, control what you can control, and you can't worry about the rest. You can control this. So why wouldn't you want to? You know, to me, it's like taking an aspirin for a headache. You know, this is something that will help control the stress. This is something that will help you stay more organized and feel like you have more control over your business, or, I mean, you hear all the crazy schedules of kids, but again, at least you feel like you know what you're going to do every day you wake up. You've got a little bit of control there.
Absolutely. And time management, gives you what I call the three C's of a legacy mind shift. And that's confidence, control, and consistency. When
Yes.
you master time management, you will master your confidence, you will master your control of your personal life and your business life, and you will be consistent. And consistency is what's going to springboard you and make you a lot of money, is by being consistent in your business. See, the me I see is the me I want to be. And you can align your business life with purpose. But who you are in your personal life is who you are in your business life. And I'm going to say that again. Who you are in your personal life is who you are in your business life. If you have a messy personal life, you're unorganized, you're disoriented, you're not consistently doing things, that's how you're going to be in your business. You've got to master that first.
Yes, that's a great point. Great point.
So in your experience, how does improving time management contribute to reducing stress and increasing fulfillment for business owners?
Well, and we just talked about that, the stress that we feel as business, like I said, control what you can control. You can control how your day, I mean, for the most part, yes, there's always going to be a phone call that comes in. Yes, you're going to have a pop-up meeting, but you're going to be more apt to be ready for those things if your day is planned accordingly and your time is managed appropriately. Those things aren't going to, they're not going to take you by such surprise. You're going to know where you need to go and get information. It's going to be a quick turnaround. So I just feel like, and even in your personal life, just knowing, maybe, you always do laundry on the same days, having that kind of regularity, I feel calms, just having a schedule of things. It just helps bring peace and calm to your senses. And it just makes life a little bit easier to get through.
I'm laughing. That is so true. When you use these little peg words here, do laundry. I'm OCD. I do laundry every single day. If there is something in the hamper, it goes in the washer machine tonight. There's no dirty clothes at the end of the night in the hamper. They're clean, but that's just who I am.
Yes, I have mad respect. I do it on Wednesdays and Sundays. Just knowing that, again, like I said, it sounds so easy, and it is, but it isn't. But it's just controlling what you can control. And I feel like when you do that, it gives you a sense of purpose. It gives you a sense of hope, because it allows for you to manage the things that are going to happen through your day, whether they're planned or surprised.
Absolutely, and this laundry is a really good topic here, because I know somebody personally that works a full-time job during the week, and on Sundays after church, I'll say, let's go do this. Oh no, that's my laundry day. That's my laundry day. And it's like, on Sunday, that's your day off. I know that's my laundry day. And it's like, do a little bit during the week or something, but why waste a whole day to do laundry on Sunday? But that's a habit. Right.
Well, and you have to do, here's the thing. And you said this before, this comes second nature to us. It's almost like we're wired for this, or it's in our DNA. And I feel like there are a lot of people who are like us, but then as a business owner, prior to 5 years ago, my life was very much set. When I started my business and I became an entrepreneur, I became that person that I struggled with my time management. I struggled with all the things that I was used to, because my life changed considerably. I have different responsibilities than I've had before. So I've had to take just what I've learned and apply it in a different way. And now I have to set my days up differently. And sometimes I don't get, I have a networking event to go to at night. So guess what? I'm getting up earlier to get some things done. So being able to be flexible with yourself and showing grace is so important. So what? Tomorrow's Wednesday. Tomorrow's my laundry day. I may or may not feel like doing laundry, and it's okay. These are not things that you have to rule your life by. It should help your life be better. You shouldn't be stressed out about these things and managing your time. It should make your life better. But also know you are open. You don't have to do it every Wednesday and Sunday. You can do it on a Thursday. Guess what? You can change it up a bit, but do what works for you. But the key of it really is, it just truly does come back to consistency. And so that means making sure that you're doing it at least 80 to 90% of the time is what I say. You know, that's going to keep you moving forward. The more that you find yourself not planning and not being prepared, you're going to feel that. And that's a feeling that you don't want.
Absolutely. And so I want to shake it up a little bit, Angie. And real quick, like I want you to tell our audience and listeners that you're going to give them a complimentary, 30-minute call.
Yes.
And how can they reach out to you if they want to talk to you about time management or any of your services at Moxie Virtual Solutions?
Yeah. So my email is in the chat, as well as there is a landing page that will take you to some information regarding some of the time management stuff we're talking about now. We will get your name and email so that you can receive a toolkit from us, and we'll be able to set up time to talk 30 minutes about what you're going through and what you need help with. And maybe the toolkit is just what you need, or maybe you're going to need some more coaching, or maybe you need admin support. Whatever that is, I just look forward to speaking with you and working with you to find out, how we can bring some relief and possible growth, and whatever that looks like for you.
Absolutely. And they also can go to that link, and by giving their name and email address, if they choose not to have a call with you, they still can get the free tool.
Absolutely. Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So I highly recommend that you do that. And whether you let's just say that you're an employee at a corporation and your time management, again, have a call with Angie, have a call with me. We would love to have a conversation with you on how we can structure, better time management and help reduce the stress. Absolutely. Some people in corporate America, especially today, they have you doing multi things where they're downsizing and putting more on you and things of this nature. And, you can be overwhelmed. Yes. Very much so.
Well, and I consider this part of your self-care arsenal. People don't realize that, that just being able to know how your day is going to go, you can anticipate what the outcomes can look like, what that can do, how you can sleep better at night, knowing that, build into your work day a workout, put it on your calendar, designate that time for yourself. Think about it like that. We're doing so many other things. We're counting our steps. We're going to the gym. We're counting, calories, or we're eating protein. How many grams of protein? We're doing all of those things. Well, think of time management as another self-care resource for you, another tool that you could be using to make your life better. And I love helping people with that, quite honestly. It's one of my favorite things to do.
Absolutely. And I know we're talking a lot about time management, but I also want you to talk a few minutes here, because we probably about 16 minutes left. Just what are some of the benefits of working with Moxie Virtual Solutions? Like, you have marketing, you have branding, social media, dig in just real quickly, give a Clip Note version of that.
Sure. So I have a team of smart, savvy assistants that they're all ready to virtually partner with you. And I don't always like to call them virtual assistants, but that's what they are by definition. But I look at us and consider us to be more of a business partner to you and your business. So, we meet and we talk about your business. We find out where are the pain points. What do you feel like you're missing out on? What do you need help with? And then, we pair businesses up with the best, business partner that we can. And we take a lot of things into consideration. So capacity, time zone, project work, the level of service that you need. Sometimes just typing up a letter isn't the same thing as creating a whole social media calendar for the year. But what are all of those things that you need? And it may not come from one person. The beauty of what I feel we offer, one of the best things, is that we offer a team of support. So like I go back to that Excel example. I can manage your calendar and your email and I can help with projects, but I cannot do your Excel spreadsheet. And it will take me longer than it would for me to pay somebody else to do that. So, not everybody's going to be able to do everything, but we can fill the gaps. We have those people, we have people with a great array of skill sets and expertise. They all do work remotely. Um, and there's really nothing that we can't do. I laugh because I struggle with my elevator speech because every business is different. Every business has different needs. People in general are busy. What do you need in your household that we can help you with? Don't think that it's just business owners. We can help the busy families as well. And what does that look like? It's just a conversation. That's what we'll start with, is a conversation to talk through what's making you stay up at night. What do you wish you didn't have to do anymore? And then I give you the answers.
Absolutely. So for those of you that might be entrepreneurs right here, looking at this, don't look at it that you thinking, I can't afford
No, no.
bring on a team like Moxie Virtual Solutions. I have a team right there. We have a call every week. You're talking to everyone. They know your voice. They know your face. They know exactly what you want. And they are there to help better you. And they are the experts. They may be the experts in the branding, the website. You do website stuff, correct?
Yes, everything.
People, when's the last time you've had a website review? I'm in the process of having a new website and things of this nature right now, a whole new branding. And it doesn't cost you to have this. And these are what's going to make you double plus your income
Yes.
by having a team and having somebody like Angie that has a team under her that can take care of you and take you to the top. That's for sure.
We had a great win. And funny enough, it was early on in the, early on in the 5 years. We have a client that needed some customer support help in sales. And I just had the perfect person available, and she worked, I believe it was 10 hours a week, part-time. They paid, I think it was $1,000 a month for that. And she helped grow their company during COVID.
Absolutely.
Those are the types of things that we can do. So when you think about, spending anywhere from $1,000 to even $4,000 a month, depending on how many hours you need, that ROI is, there's tons of statistics out there. Unfortunately, I don't have any to share off the top of my head, but I could Google it pretty quickly. But the return on investment for that little bit of amount of money is just, it's crazy. You could easily double, what you're bringing in just by having that little bit of support.
Absolutely. And, and I don't want those big numbers to scare maybe the entrepreneur that's starting out, that, that you have packages that it can be start out small, you work, and you can grow into things. Don't think that you have to start out with a big package. Just start out with something small. Have a conversation with Angie. See what services you need. You're also welcome to have a conversation with me. I'll be glad to talk to you as well. Now, your guide emphasizes the importance of measuring and refining one's time management plan. What tools or methods do you recommend for tracking progress?
Oof. Well, I think you could look at your sales. I feel like when you're buttoned up and you are managing your day, your time, your resources, everything properly, it's going to show in your sales. It's going to show in how many hours you're working. I feel like it's also going to show up in the level of engagement that your clients and your team, if you have a team, that, what does that engagement look like? And just, are you happier and healthier overall? These are all and of course, this is going to be different for everybody, but take a step back each day and say, really look at how effective your day was. Do that for a while, as you're making these shifts, because again, these are, you're building new habits, you're doing new things. Be sure to show yourself grace. But at the end of the day, look at your calendar, look at your list, and look at all the things that you accomplished that day. Look at how effective you were that day. What are the things that you got done that you normally wouldn't get done? You can find that on any day that you're managing your time properly. You can see those results right away, and you can feel them right away.
And one thing that I'd like to add to that question from a business perspective as a business coach, the legacy mind shift system has 4 components, each with 3 words: establish your goals, know your numbers, run the formula, follow the system. And the top 4 slowing revenue growth: time management, getting prospects to take action, no systematic selling process, and lack of referrals. Okay, we have just a few more minutes here. How can effective time management strategies help entrepreneurs create a lasting legacy beyond just immediate business success?
Well, this is not a Band-Aid. Obviously, this is something that you're training yourself to do on the daily. Also, too, as you grow your business, these are things that you're going to want your team to implement as well. So, the coachee is going to become the coach, right? And you're going to have standards, and you're going to have expectations. And what better way to prove and to show success is by you doing those things yourself as well, and being an example to your team, to your family, whomever that is on the other side.
Absolutely. As we look towards the future of work, how do you think time management practices will evolve, especially for global businesses and remote teams?
Well, I didn't start this business because of COVID, but COVID actually, it helped me quite a bit. And it really made me reflect on how we communicate with one another, how we collaborate with one another, and finding the right space to do that. And so again, it goes back to, finding times when people can all meet. And what if, how do you do that effectively when you're across multiple time zones? What does that look like? And I feel like that's going to become more and more prevalent as technology grows, keeping up on all of those things. But staying open, keeping your mind open, keeping open communication, and continuing to set standards for yourself, such as doing the things that we've talked about during this past hour, again, and setting that example, setting the expectations, and just doing it daily.
Absolutely. And so, whether you're a corporation, entrepreneur, or just in your family, I've used the word inspect what you expect. I've also talked about having weekly meetings with your teams and people. This is so important. And one thing that I have seen, especially from my corporate clients, is they have this thing now that everybody's coming back to work, or it's hybrid, 3 days in the office, 2 days not. We've been used to having Zoom calls, team calls, all these, and that's all great. We need to minimize them. Where do we really need an hour? Like you said that earlier, can we do it in 30 minutes, or can 30 minutes, can we do it in 15? Because so many people get bogged down with so many meetings.
Yes.
The other thing is you think about this. Corporations want you back in the office. Why are you, and I understand we have people all over different places, but a majority of your people are in that location, and 20% are remote or in a different location. Why not engage your people in in-person meetings, and then have the Teams call or the Zoom call, whatever it is you want, with just the few people that log in, because they're not in your location right there. But now people get excited to come back in the office because they're interacting, they're having meetings, they're in person, they're collaborating and things of this nature, and they're solving things, and they're saying, you know what, we don't need to have this meeting tomorrow because we already talked about it right now today.
Right. Exactly.
So I think that's so important.
Well, and there's so many tools out there, there's shared workspaces. So, you've got, look at all the tools that are just within Teams itself. that you can be utilizing. There's, apps on your phone that you can use to help with intermediate, communicating in between meetings, or quick communication tools. I think it's just really staying open to all the things that are out there, being respectful of not just your own time, but everybody else's time as well. And coming up with really creative solutions that work for everyone. I think it could be kind of fun, to be honest. All the different things that you can do, but you just have to stay open, and just know that change is good. Change is always good.
Absolutely. And there's so many new apps out there. For somebody, I call myself IT challenged and my online business manager, and them, I don't touch anything. I don't go into my Keep account. Matter of fact, I'm tabooed. I'm not even allowed to go in there. I have to call my IT guy to get the password, and then it's like, what do you want this for, Celeste? You're not supposed to go in there, but the other thing is, where I was going with this, I just lost my train of thought. I apologize for that.
That's okay. That happens to me all the time. I'm pretty proud of myself that I've been able to make it through this, but I do get excited about it. But yeah, well, you're right.
I know what it was, but these apps where they have these apps now that it can record your things and then summarize it and shoot it out in a minute.
Yes.
Of what that call is, if you need to send it out to your people in the corporation, or whether it's your entrepreneurs, or you want to send it out to your team, and it itemizes and does everything for you, and it's done, instead of writing all this long stuff out and then going to the computer and putting it in there. Again, you need to educate yourself on that. So we have about 3 minutes left. Angie, this has been such a blessing having you on the show at WCEG Talk Radio, and we're so grateful to Penny Rogers and all of the board members for giving us this platform of global legacy and wealth building, that we get to speak life into the community. And I hope that we have definitely educated and informed you today a lot about time management. Again, you can watch us on the Roku channels, Apple TV, 12 different posts. You can find us and watch us. So I hope that you will. Love for you to put some positive comments in there, your takeaways. And Angie, tell the people once more how they can get a hold of you, please.
Yes, Angie at moxievirtualsolutions.com, or you can also just come to the Moxie Virtual Solutions website and click on Partner with Us, and it will take you right to a scheduling link, and we can just meet, talk about what your needs are and how we can help you.
Absolutely. And she has a free download in there. So please, the link is in the bottom. Also, you can go to our YouTube channels. We'd love for you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, especially WCEG Network and Celeste Giordano. You can go to my website at celestegiordano.com. You can schedule a complimentary call with me as well. We would love to help you learn, grow, achieve, and prosper so you can leave a legacy. And with that being said, everyone, have a wonderful, blessed week. Have a happy Valentine's Day this week. And our next show is going to be on the 25th, I believe. And we have our great friends from Street Grace that we're going to be talking about human trafficking. And today is Advocacy Day in Georgia, and our friends are there and at the Capitol building for our advocacy. And we look forward to hosting them on the 25th. So with that being said, have a wonderful, blessed